Okay, in 3.1, we are going to review solving using square root for quadratic equations. Factoring, we reviewed yesterday, so now square root. Okay, solving using square root. I need to isolate the part that's being squared, so in this case, it's the x squared. So I need to cancel all the other stuff, like a normal equation. For the minus 11, I'm going to add it to the other side. So I'm going to have, what do I have? 3x squared equals, if I do 10 plus 11, I get 21. Divide by 3. Okay, and then when you get to this step, to cancel out this squared, I do the inverse, which is the square root. So I'm going to square root x equals, now the square root of 7 is irrational. So I'm going to leave it as square root 7. But the tricky thing about squared, not tricky, but the fun thing is if I do a positive value squared, I get 7. If I square a negative, I also get a positive because a negative times a negative is also a positive. So this should be a positive and a negative square root of 7. And the lazy way to write that is to say x equals plus or minus square root 7. That means positive square root 7 and negative square root 7, two answers. Let's look at B. For B, we could easily factor this, but they're asking me to use square root, so I'm going to. So I'm going to add the 16 over. Okay, so I have the x squared isolated. So now to cancel the squared, I'm going to square root. That cancels out the exponent of 2. The square root of 16 is 4. But when I square a negative, I also get a positive. So it could be positive and negative 4. Okay, let's try the next one. Okay, let's minus the 5. 22 divide by 9. 22 divided by 9 is a fraction. Okay, I'm okay with fractions. Let's square root it. X equals, I'm going to get a positive and a negative. The square root of 22 is irrational. Can I simplify it? 2 times 11? No, square root of 22 is fine. And the denominator of the square root of 9 is 3, so that is rational. Okay, so I have x equals plus or minus the square root of 22 over 3. There should be a square root on the top, but not on the bottom. So I simplify what I can. I leave the rest. If I had a square root at the bottom, I would have rationalized the square root. Now let's try the next example. We're still using square root, but now the squared is applying to a parenthesis. Okay, now you cannot distribute a squared. You would have to use FOIL and distribute the whole thing out. So I can't add the 3 either because it's trapped inside the parentheses. So I need to cancel the squared. To cancel the squared, I square root it. This square root cancels out the squared. So now I bring down x minus 3 equals, the square root of 49 is 7, but I could have a positive 7 and a negative 7. Okay, now this is 2 different answers now. I want to add 3 over to here. This is going to look weird. I'm going to write it out. So I want to add 3 over there, and I'm going to write it out so I can get my answer. And then I'm going to add 3 to it. Okay, I'm not leaving it like this. There's 2 answers. But I want you to see them. Okay, I'm going to start with the positive 7. If I do positive 7 plus 3, I get 10. But there's a second answer. If I do negative 7 plus 3, I get negative 4. Okay, so those are my 2 answers, 10 and negative 4. You don't have to show this step here. Some people can add 3 and they go 7 plus 3, 10. Negative 7 plus 3, negative 4. And that's fine with me. Let's try B. Same problem. The x and the plus 5 are in parentheses, so I have to cancel the squared to get them out. The square root cancels the squared. X plus 5 equals, the square root of 30 is irrational. Does it simplify? 5 times 6, 3 times 2? No. I leave it square root 30 and I make it positive or negative. Okay, now I'm going to minus the 5. And I'm showing this step because it's a weird step. X equals, okay, I want to do plus or minus the square root of 30 minus 5, but this is a radical and this is not, so they're not like terms, so I can't actually combine them. So normally when you write your answer, you put the rational first, and I put the irrational second. Okay, and this represents 2 answers. This is negative 5 plus the square root of 30, which is some decimal, and negative 5 minus the square root of 30, which is a second decimal. Okay, and you don't have to put the little minus 5 here, so I'm putting them to show you what I did. Okay, let's do a couple more. Okay, let's see. There's the squared. It's applying to the parentheses. Before I get to the parentheses, no, I need to get rid of this thing and this thing. So let's do some simplifying. Let's add the 13 over. Equals 5 plus 13, 18. Are we good? No, I don't want the 2 there, so divide off the 2 also. 18 divided by 2 is 9. How about now? Okay, now we're going to square root. Okay, that's going to cancel out the little 2, and now I can bring down the x plus 5. The square root of 9 is 3, but I'm going to have a positive and a negative 3. Okay, and then I want to solve, so I want to minus the 5 over. Do you think, can we do it in our head? Let's try it. Okay, these are 2 answers, so if I do positive 3 minus 5, negative 2. What's my second answer? If I do negative 3 minus 5, negative 8. You can show more steps, but you cannot show less. Okay, let's look at D. Okay, I see this is the thing being squared. I don't want this here, so I'm going to divide by negative 3. If I do negative 30 divided by negative 3, I get positive 10. Are we ready to square root? Yep, we are. X minus 1 equals the square root of 10 is irrational. Does it simplify? No, so positive negative square root 10. And then to solve it, I'm going to add the 1 to the other side. And normally we put the 1 first, and then this, the irrational first. If you put the plus 1 at the end, it's still correct. It's just a different way of writing it. And look at the last 2 just because they're fun. Okay, so parentheses squared. We can square root it now. Okay, now I can bring down the parenthesis. Square root of 25 is 5, more negative 5. Okay, what do I want to do now? I'm going to add the 1 over, and we're going to try to do it in our head. Okay, if I do positive 5 plus 1, I get 6. If I do negative 5 plus 1, negative 4. Okay, this looks weird, but let's go ahead and divide by 3. And I'm showing this step, although you could do it in your head. X equals 6 divided by 3 is 2. Negative 4 divided by 3 is a fraction. So my answers are 2 and negative 4/3. Okay, let's look at F. What do we like about F? There it is squared. What do I not want there? I don't want the 2/3 there. Okay, you could do reciprocal, or you could just times by the 3. Let's try reciprocal. Okay, that's going to cancel this and this. So now I have x plus 7 squared equals, okay, now you can do this in your head if you would like. I'll do it to the side. Okay, it's fractions. I'm going to multiply the top, the numerators. 10 times 3 is 30. At the bottom, 1 times 2 is 2. 30 divided by 2, 15. Okay, now we're ready to square root it. And I'm going to subtract the 7 to the other side. Okay, go ahead and try the practice problems. The answers are at the bottom, or you can pause the video and check when you're done. I'll do 1 through 6 first. Okay, my answers for 1 through 6 are up. Go ahead and pause if you need some time. Okay, now check 7 through 12. Pause if you're going to need a few minutes.